Salako. We begin with headlines. President Bola Tinubu orders immediate release of minors undergoing trial due to their actions during the End Bad Governance protest. Plus on the news, Court of Appeal acquits former CJN Justice Walter Onohen from his conviction of false asset declaration by the Code of Conduct Tribunal (CCT). From the international scene, at least 10 people have been killed after a volcano erupted in eastern Indonesia in the early hours of Monday. Details of these and more coming your way soon, to stay with us. Many thanks for joining us at this time. Now details of the news. President Bola Tinubu has sworn 7 new ministers to his cabinet at the Council Chamber of the State House, Abuja. This follows their confirmation by the Senate on Thursday, during which all 7 nominees were confirmed after being screened individually. The new cabinet members took the oath of office in 2 batches, 4 in the first batch and 3 in the second, after their citation were read by the State House Director of Information, Abiodun Ladunjoye. The first 4 appointees include Ide Maina, Minister of Livestock Development, Yusuf Atta, Minister of State, Housing and Urban Development, Dr. Suwaib Ahmed, Minister of State Education, and Bianca Odumigo-Jugo, Minister of State Foreign Affairs. Subsequently, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Nentawa Yuwada, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, and Muhammadu Dingyade, Minister of Labour and Employment, took their oath before the President. President Bola Tinubu has ordered the immediate release of the minors undergoing trial due to their actions during the End Bad Governance protests across the country. Addressing State House correspondents on Monday, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, said the directive was for the Attorney General of the Federation to expedite action on their children's release without prejudice to the legal issue. Alhaji Idris said the move was in consonance with the President's very deep commitment to democracy and the rule of law. The minister said the President also directed the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction to immediately see to the welfare of those minors and also take part to ensure that they have smooth reunion with their parents or guardians wherever they are in the country. He also announced that a committee will be set up immediately to be headed by Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs to look at all issues surrounding the arrest, detention, the treatment, and finally the release of the young minors. The President also directed that the law enforcement agents involved in the arrest and the legal processes be investigated, and if there are any infractions found to have been committed by any official of government, be they law enforcement agency, or whoever that person might be, appropriate disciplinary action will be taken against them.
Of his very deep commitment to democracy and the rule of law, and without prejudice also to whatever legal processes there are. On the other hand, the human side, the human part of it, has directed that some announcements be made. I recall that I had a short briefing with Mr. President early this evening, and he has directed the immediate release of all the minors.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu says his administration has been able to ramp up funds to reduce the debt servicing burden of the country from 97% to 65%. Speaking against the backdrop of a subsidy removal policy on fuel, Tinubu said the youth focused on ending the reign of undue profiteering and smuggling of Nigeria's common resources. Correspondent in Abuja, Ken Abuji, sent in this report.
The president was speaking during the swearing-in of the 7 new ministers recently appointed into his cabinet to boost its functionality. Congratulating the new ministers for accepting to serve the country at this challenging time, the president urged the new ministers to be ready for abuses and criticism from Nigerians, but must not lose focus in making lives better for over the 200 million citizens in the country. The president also acknowledged the existence of economic challenges in the country, saying it accounted for why his administration shored up the national minimum wage. He said with the intervention of his administration, he is optimistic the country was on a steady growth path.
It's challenging. The present situation called for a very serious commitment. Yours is a duty to serve, and that's what you've come to do. I really appreciate the fact that you've taken the oath of office and ready to serve your nation at the time we are facing the challenges of economic growth.
Like the president who commended the National Assembly for diligently and expeditiously reviewing and committing themselves to duty on the constitutional assignment on the 7 new ministers, other government officials say the coming of the new ministers will complement efforts of the administration at implementing policies that will better the lives of Nigerians.
That solutions to complex problems can never be as easy, can never be as instant as coffee. We have started seeing results. We are going to build on that, and with this rejigging, we have new people on board who will also support the effort of government to ensure that the momentum is not lost.
There's going to be governance, it's mixed with politics, but I believe in these new ministers. We all heard and read their citations. They come with a very rich pedigree, and they've been fixed in ministries that actually almost tailored to their experiences, both professionally and in life generally.
The new ministers bear their minds on the efforts of the Tinubu-led administration at reviving the economy, promising commitment to making the administration thrive.
And all other farmable, edible animals. We are going to put all of them on the same plate and make sure that we migrate them from where they are into properly unbundling that sector to ensure, one, sufficient and adequate food and nutrition for the country, safe operating environment for all the stakeholders in the country, as well as making the sector very, very attractive for foreign direct investment.
I've been working on business climate reforms. This is a new assignment. Mr. President has specifically said the trade agenda, the investment agenda, and you know there's also a Minister of State working on industry. The most important thing with the trade agreement is to make sure that we go after optimizing the AFCFTA for Nigerian businesses.
If we can partner with them and ensure that we bring them into the administrative initiatives and use them also to forge strategic partnerships with financial institutions all over the world, that would in no small way enhance the workings and the service delivery.
Now to other matters, the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has discharged and acquitted the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN Justice Walter Onugen, from his conviction of false answer declaration by the Code of Conduct Tribunal, CCT. The conviction of Onugen, overturned by the Appellate Court, followed the resolution of the issue that led to his trial and conviction. Former President Muhammadu Buhari had on January 25, 2019, about 29 days before the presidential election, suspended Onugen from office as a CJN and swore in the next most senior jurist of the Supreme Court, Justice Tanko Muhammad, to take over the leadership of the judiciary. Delivering judgment, the presiding Justice Abba Mohammed, adopted terms of settlement between the federal government and Onohen. Correspondent Kolujo reports that the judge also ordered that the 4 bank accounts of the former CGN forfeited be returned to him. Shortly after the judgment cancelled to him and the senior advocate of Nigeria, Adegboyega Awomolu, thanked President Tinubu and the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, for ensuring the resolution of the issue.
By all Nigerians and the world, that today's judgment is historical and significant. It's historical because this is the first time that an executive lawlessness and recklessness is being frontally set aside by a judicial authority and of the High Federal Court of Appeal in Nigeria.
The former chairman of Oyo State Park Management System, Mukaila Lamidi, popularly called Auxiliary, on Monday appeared at the State High Court, Ring Road, Ibadan, over alleged armed robbery, murder, attempted murder, possession of firearms, including one AK-47 assault rifle. There is tension around the area as vehicular patrol vans were stationed at different areas. Uniform and plainclothes security operatives, including the police and the Motekun Corps, among others, are also noticed within and around the court premises. The offence, according to the charge sheet, is punishable offence under sections 1, subsection 2A and B of the Robbery and Firearms Special Provisions Act, Cap RII, Volume 14, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004. Meanwhile, Justice O.A. Ade Tunjoye of Fiat Court, Oyo State High Court, Ring Road, Ibadan, ordered that a case file involving the former chairman of disciplinary committee of the Park Management System (PMS), Alhaji Mukaila Lamidi, also known as Auxiliary, be transferred to the State Chief Judge for reassignment to another court. The matter was between the State versus Mukaila Lamidi Auxiliary and was scheduled for hearing on Monday, but the judge resolved to return the case to the CJ as a result of failure of the council to agree if the court should take the 2 different cases before it, including the defendant. Still on judicial matters, a federal high court in Abuja ordered Godwin Somobayo, the embattled deputy governor of Edo State, to appear in person before it on November 26 over his alleged disobedience to court judgment. Justice James Omotocho, in a ruling, held that the order was to give Omobayo, the alleged contemner, a fair hearing and the opportunity to defend themselves in line with Section 36 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The reinstated Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, had filed the contempt charge for Omobayo to be committed to prison over his alleged refusal to vacate the deputy governorship position after a valid court judgment. Justice Omotosho had on July 17 voided the impeachment of Shaibu as a deputy governor of Edo State by the House of Assembly. The judge, in the judgment, ordered his reinstatement to office on the grounds that the Edo House of Assembly failed to comply with due process in the purported impeachment. The judge also held that the allegation on which the Assembly based impeachment proceedings was untenable in law and did not constitute gross misconduct. You're still on to the news on Galaxy TV. Coming up next. EFCC arrests former governor of Delta State, Dr. Ifeanyi Ukowa, over allegation of fraud and alleged diversion of 1.3 trillion naira. Details of that and more coming after the break. Do stay with us. We are glad to have you back. Now for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate live updates and comments, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. On to the story teased earlier, operatives of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) on Monday arrested the former governor of Delta State, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, over allegations of fraud and alleged diversion of 1.3 trillion naira on 13% derivation fund from the Federation account from 2015 to 2023. The former governor was said to have been arrested in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, stating that he was arrested when he reported at your office after failing to render account for funds used in acquiring shares in UTM floating liquefied natural gas amounting to 40 billion naira. And to other stories, the House of Representatives announced a recess with plans to reconvene on Tuesday, November 19, 2024. This recess will allow honorable members to conduct essential oversight of various ministries, departments and agencies and MDAs to ensure accountability on behalf of the Nigerian people. In a statement issued on Monday, House spokesman Honorable Akin Rotimi shared that this decision was initially conveyed to members during the plenary on October 30, 2024 by Speaker Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin. Further clarification was provided by the Clerk of the House, Dr. Yaiga Danzaria, on the directive of the House leadership. The Speaker also called on MDAs to fully cooperate with lawmakers in line with the Constitution and outstanding orders to facilitate thorough evaluations. The public should note that this recess impacts only House plenary sessions, other legislative duties such as constituency outreach committee meetings and budget preparation consultation will proceed as scheduled. The 10th Assembly remains dedicated to transparency, accountability and addressing the need of Nigerians, it said. The Nigerian government and United Kingdom government have signed a memorandum of understanding to foster a historic cultural relationship between the two countries. The signing of the MOU took place in Abuja on Monday. Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs Ambassador Yusuf Tugar, who welcomed the UK delegate, said Nigeria will continue to build a strong tie with the United Kingdom. He noted that there are major strides that will be unveiled at the end of the engagement period.
We feel that this is a very good beginning in the relationship between both of us, but of course the relationship between the United Kingdom and Nigeria goes way back, and it's unfortunate that we could not catch up in Samoa, but here we are, and I understand we have some major strides that we will be announcing at the end of this engagement. So, welcome once again.
In his remarks, the Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs of the United Kingdom, David Lammy, said historical cultural ties is second to none in bounding and connecting the two countries together. He stressed the UK is looking forward to both nations building a key relationship. Lammy explained that the connection between UK and Nigeria will connect more people between the two countries.
Underlies the importance of the relationship between the United Kingdom and Nigeria. In so many ways, the people-to-people connections, the deep diasporan community across the UK, the historic and cultural ties are second to none. And of course at Artex, I saw the huge creativity and depth of innovation and art and culture on display in Lagos just yesterday.
Members of Benue Motorcycle Association and National Union Road Transport Workers in Gwe West Local Government Area of Benue State have staged a peaceful protest to express their displeasure over the persistent attacks and killing of Okada riders, commuters by armed raiders. The groups blocked the Makurdi-Naka-Akpa Federal Highway for several hours, over 7 hours following the killing of a primary school teacher along the road. The protesters who were carrying placards inscribed with "Stop Killing Us, Government should come to our aid." The chairman of the Benue Motorcycle Association Naka branch, Matthew Kwagza, said they have lost over 37 members and over 67 motorcycles on Makurdi-Naka-Akpa Federal Highway in less than 2 months, while branch chairman of the NURTW, Mumbat Hugema, noted that he decried the persistent attacks on motorists plying the road, and he appealed to government to come to deploy more security agencies on the road.
More than 37 in number. The motorcycles that the Fulani herdsmen, particularly, I'm not afraid of saying this, Fulani herdsmen and bandits on this road, they collect over 67 motorcycles on record. One of these motorcycles is sold at the rate of 1.4 million naira now. We have no jobs. We are graduates.
We want to put a stop between today, Monday, and we make sure that we see the government at large take necessary action within this Naka road to Makurdi. Everyday killing. Most especially the one that we are so angry is because they are killing the drivers and Okada.
Now, at least we have no flashpoints where the suspected Fulani herdsmen are usually attacking us. We pray for the local, the government to deploy more security in those flash areas, so that at least even us that are in the main town here, we don't sleep with our 2 eyes closed. If the security is put in place in those particular areas, it will, if at all, it will not bring this matter to finality. It will reduce it to its barest minimum.
A victim who escaped one of the attack, Barrister Denin Adam, suggested the security personnel be stationed at a flashpoint to guarantee movement on the road, while calling on government at all levels to take dramatic action on security situation of the local government area. Arrest and arraignment of NBAD government protesters have been described as undemocratic and which is blatantly in conflict with the Nigerian constitution that legalizes freedom of expression and assembly. Protesters are arguably a mechanism to redirect government whatever the public feels things are not going well. Shutting down dissident voices cannot be a healthy development for the nation's nascent democracy. Galaxy News correspondent Libby Joseph has more in this report.
The arrest, detain, and arraignment of protesters who took part in the August NBAD government protest by the Nigerian police has been condemned in different quarters. Many believe the police ought to provide adequate security for the people during the protest instead of arresting and arraigning them for treason.
In a country like Nigeria, one should not encourage the arrest of protesters at all. If indeed we practice democracy, protesters who have come out to the street and who have also conducted themselves within the confines of the law should rather be protected by the police.
I think it's despicable and it's an affront to human rights in the country. It's also an affront to the Nigerian Constitution. Section 39 of Nigerian Constitution states very explicitly that citizens are allowed freedom of expression, and there are other portions of the Constitution that also state in very clear terms the freedoms that are guaranteed to Nigerians, like freedom to assemble, freedom to express themselves, freedom to disagree, freedom to political, opinions. And
Having an unbiased listening ear to decent voices and making corrections in some areas that form the basis for public agitation is a formidable way to entrench good governance and make life easy for the people being governed.
On what ground is this treason? And there's the question of the ambiguity and vagueness of our laws, in which it's the Nigerian government, and not just that, several governments across Africa as well are using the vagueness of laws to justify, or either the vagueness or national security laws, just to exact the harshest possible punishment. What does the Nigerian laws say about treason? Death or life in prison.
The important part of this discourse should be the arrest and arraignment of the children in large number who are arrested and in fact charged for treason. The first question we want to ask ourselves is, would what they have done, protesting, yes, with some flag depicting another country entirely when they are within Nigeria, will that pass for treason in the real sense?
Arrest of over 2,000 peaceful protesters, including women and minors, and their incarceration in detention where they were starved and subjected to torture is quite overboard, and which must be discouraged. From Lagos, this is Lebi Joseph reporting for Galaxy TV News.
Now to other stories. A consultant orthopedic surgeon at Ogun State Hospital, Abeokuta, Dr. Nuruddin Adekunle, has denied allegations of slapping a male nursing student at the hospital last month, clarifying that he only asked the student to leave the operating theatre due to alleged rude behavior. The allegation had prompted the state chapter of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives to stage a protest, calling for disciplinary action against the surgeon. Speaking at a press conference at the instance of the Nigerian Medical Association, Ogun State branch, Dr. Adekunle described the claims as baseless, insisting it did not engage in any physical altercation. The surgeon added that his interaction with the student was purely a disciplinary measure. The chairman of the Nigerian Medical Association in Ogun State, Dr. Lukman Ogunjimi, supported Adekunle's account, calling the allegations exaggerated.
For information, I did not slap him. I reprimanded him, like I wanted him to leave the theater, but I did not slap him. Before I know, there was so much noise on social media giving different narrative that I slapped a particular nursing, yes, a nurse. This time around, some will even say a female nurse. I did not slap anybody. The person I had problem with is a 21-year-old male nursing student, which I feel I can correct if he made mistake, but I did not slap him. When this event happened, the hospital CMD actually did his investigation, and he found out that nobody actually witnessed what happened, that nobody actually corroborated the allegation.
We investigated and we saw that our member, Dr. Adekunle Nuruddin, never slapped the so-called student nurse. They were in the theater and the student was rude in his manner of asking some things, and rather Dr. Adekunle gave a friendly pat, which anybody can do. My brother is beside me now. What do you know about this? And that was misinterpreted as a slap. And we needed to investigate and be sure, because we will not support any form of assault, even if it's from our member. But Dr. Adekunle never did that, but only gave a friendly tap.
800 displaced persons in Benue State have expressed gratitude to International Organization for Migration and other humanitarian partners for their support towards the well-being of IDPs as they celebrate November 4th, a national day set aside for displaced persons. The IDPs, despite the condition, took time out to celebrate in their various camps, as over 14 IDP camps are currently located and operational in Benue, with various debilitating challenges ranging from inadequate shelters, water sanitation and hygiene, schools, healthcare, food items, as some of them have called for more support to help alleviate their sufferings. Some of the displaced persons at the Otese and Daudu camps, while recounting their ordeal, thanked IOM, SEMA and other organizations for the financial assistance in starting their own businesses, and solicited more financial interventions for other IDPs, as well as the provision of facilities and food in the camps.
I start this business. This camp commandant to help me with 5,000, let me manage with my children. I bought it, I sell it, get sometimes 1,000 profit inside. So I use the profit buy food and chop with my children.
The time that we are come here in Nuri, we are suffering too much, but for now, we are just managing life as we stay here. Now we are getting water for this hotel camp. Even today, we fetch water and bath. IOM brings soap for us. We are still using the soap.
The camp is made up of 13,500 and something persons. In this camp, we have problem of water since how many years? Now the IOM give us water, we appreciate. Secondly, they constructed a kitchen and for us in this camp, and they also reinforce the tents for us.
The Otese and Daudu IDP camp manager said November 4th is a national day set aside to recognize the resilience of IDPs and promote their empowerment. Hence, they are using this day to celebrate them and appreciate humanitarian partners.
National IDPs Day, and then it's a day of an IDP. Like it's a day marked out for them to feel like they are actually human beings, like they should live a normal life. They have the right to live a normal life. Challenges we have basically is with the education.
And all the IDPs are here. We have been very, very excited and very happy about what IOM especially has been doing on camp here in conjunction with the Benin State government to bring support to these people that are here, and I think they have been relieved a whole lot.
Operatives of the Nigerian Army 6th Division have recovered over 70,000 litres of illegally refined crude oil in Rivers community of Akoko Toro local government area. Acting Deputy Director of the Nigerian Army 6th Division Public Relations, Lieutenant Colonel Danchuma Joda, in a statement said the recovery of the product led to the deactivation of 29 illegal refinery sites and the destruction of 14 boats. According to the Army, one massive wooden boat with over 50,000 litres of crude oil was also intercepted, as well as cooking pots used for illegal activities by oil thieves. Some cars with illegally refined crude oil concealed in sacks were also confiscated, as the occupants are presently undergoing investigation at the 6th Division headquarters in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital. The GOC 6th Division Nigerian Army Major General Jamal Abdusalam, while commanding officers and men of the Nigerian Army, said they will not relent until crude oil theft and all forms of criminality in the Niger Delta region are brought to the barest minimum. In a move to push for a new Nigerian good candidate for political positions, youth from the 19 northern states converged in Kaduna, unanimously pushing for a better country. At the Northern Youth Summit, various speakers spoke on the need to be united on the formidable front and support good individuals to occupy positions that will take the country to the next level. They blamed the economic woes that the country is going through on lack of leadership ideas that would move the country forward. In an interview with newsmen, President of NYA Ambassador Aliyu bin Abbas lamented that the present political leadership of Nigeria is out of tune with hardship citizens are facing. He said that the NYA is a movement that has attracted youth from all the political parties with the sole aim of birthing a new Nigeria that will work for all.
When you look at the issue of insecurity, most of the time the victims happens to be youth and women. So Nigeria is actually not working. That is why we decided to come together, young people and women from the ruling party APC, the PDP, the Labour Party, NNPP, PRP and ABGA, in order to bring our heads together, and then have a rethink, and then rebirth or birth a new Nigeria for our dream.
Access to education, access to job opportunity, access to equal opportunity for every Nigerian, irrespective of your tribe, your creed. There's a Nigeria we dream of, and this Nigeria we dream of is not an it's not an ambiguous Nigeria. It's a Nigeria that we have seen in other climes. It's a Nigeria we've seen in other continents. So it's possible here. So, of course, definitely, it's a young person that can lead us to that destination.
Unemployment, poor education, the system is not working for all of us. So now we are united in our suffering. And we have now decided to say enough is enough. We cannot continue to watch only for few people that are not up to 1,000 to amass the wealth and resources of Nigeria that is meant for over 250 million of us. And you know that the youth, we are the largest population in the voting demography in Nigeria. Am I making sense? When we arise.
Now we move to the international desk for the news.
Hello and welcome to the foreign news. At least 10 people have been killed after a volcano erupted in eastern Indonesia in the early hours of Monday, officials have said. Mount Lowotobi Laki-Laki, located in Flores Island in East Nusa Tenggara province, erupted at 23:57 local time, according to the Indonesian Center for Volcanology and Geological Disaster Mitigation. Hadi Wijaya, a PVMG spokesperson, said fiery lava and rocks had hit the villages about 4 kilometers from the crater, burning and damaging resident houses. According to local officials, the eruption has affected 7 villages. PVMG said fires had occurred in residential areas due to the ejection of incandescent materials from the volcano. It has raised the status of the volcano to the highest alert level, warning that a 7 kilometers radius from the crater must be cleared. Video footage shared on social media shows people covered in volcanic ash, rock showers and homes ablaze, as well as the scorched aftermath of the disruption. A spokesperson from Indonesia Disaster Agency warned of potential flash floods and cold lava flows in the coming days. At least 36 people have died and 27 have been injured after a bus fell into a gorge in India's northern state of Uttarakhand. Officials said 44 people were on board when the driver lost control and the bus fell into a 50-meter ditch in Muchala, located in the state's Almora district. The state government has ordered an inquiry into the accident. Buses are the main mode of transport in the Himalayan state, and accidents are not uncommon. The bus was on its way to the state's Rangna district when the accident took place on Monday morning. Photos and videos from the site show the badly damaged vehicle overturned at the bottom of a hill. Several passengers died on the spot, while those injured were taken to the nearby hospitals. Rescue operations are still on the way. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi had expressed his condolences for the families of the victims. He announced compensation of 200,000 rupees for the families of the deceased and 50,000 rupees to those who were wounded. Israel has officially notified the United Nations of its decisions to cut ties with its agency for Palestinian refugees as another UN agency warns of an impending famine in genocide-ravaged Gaza. In a statement on Monday, the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs said it cancelled a cooperation agreement from 1967 which provided the legal basis of the country's relations with UNRWA. The Israeli parliament last week adopted two controversial bills banning UNRWA from operating on Israeli territory, closing its premises in the occupied West Bank, including East Jerusalem and Gaza. Israel alleges fighters of Palestinian group Hamas have infiltrated UNRWA. The UN agency denies the allegations and said it takes measures to ensure its neutrality. UNRWA on Monday said Israel's ban on its operations will lead to the collapse of humanitarian work in the war-torn Gaza Strip. The UN agency provides education, healthcare and other basic services to Palestinian refugees from the 1948 war surrounding Israel's creation and their descendants, who now number nearly 6 million. And still on foreign news, Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has announced an extra £75 million to tackle people smuggling gangs. The cash boost takes funding for the UK's new Border Security Command to a total of £150 million for new tech hubs, as well as extra enforcement, intelligence and prosecution staff. In a speech to the Interpol General Assembly in Glasgow, Sir Keir called on global leaders to wake up to the severity of the challenge smuggling present to border security. But former Immigration Chief Kevin Saunders said the changes will not deter illegal migrants from coming to the UK and stop small boat crossing. Sir Keir wants to apply a counter-terrorism approach to border security and end fragmentation between policing, border force and intelligence agencies. Anti-terror police have enhanced stop and search powers and can obtain search warrants to seize items on premises before an offence has taken place. The BSC, led by Martin Hewitt, will be provided with enhanced powers through a new border security, asylum and immigration bill to make it easier to detect, disrupt and deter those involved in organised immigration crime. The BSC will also coordinate the work of intelligence agencies and law enforcement with European counterparts and will be getting extra funds. In a speech to the summit, which brings together senior police and ministers from nearly 200 Interpol member countries, the minister said that he was elected to deliver security for the British people, and strong borders are part of that. But security doesn't stop at the borders. Spain sent more soldiers on Monday to its flood-hit east, where rescuers scored on-the-ground car parks for bodies and protests bubbled over the government's handling of a disaster that has killed at least 217 people. The army sent about 5,000 soldiers over the weekend to help distribute food and water, clean up streets and guard against looters. A further 2,500 will join them, Defense Minister Margarita Robles told state-owned radio. A warship carrying 104 Marine infantry soldiers, as well as trucks with food and water, was approaching Valencia port, even as a strong hailstorm pummeled Barcelona some 300 kilometers to the north. An alert from regional authorities warned of potential landslides and more flooding. Airport operator AENA said about 50 flights due to take off from Barcelona's partially flooded El Prat airport were cancelled or severely delayed, while 17 due to land there were diverted. Some local train services were also cancelled. Fatalities from Spain's worst flash floods in modern history edged higher to 217 on Sunday, almost all of them in the Valencia region and more than 60 in the suburb of Paiporta. Rescue teams searched car parks and river mouths where currents may have deposited more bodies. Local criticized a late alert from authorities about the dangers and the perceived delayed response by emergency services. And finally, on foreign news, Moldova's pro-Western president Mia Sandu has won a second term in a pivotal presidential runoff against a Russia-friendly opponent in a race that was overshadowed by claims of Russian interference, voter fraud and intimidation in the European Union candidate country. With nearly 99% of votes counted in the second round of the presidential election held Sunday, Sandu had 55% of the vote, according to the Central Election Commission, or CEC, compared to 45% for Alexander Stononglo, a former prosecutor general who was backed by the pro-Russian Party of Socialists. The result will be a major relief for the pro-Western government, which strongly backed Sandu's candidacy and a push for closer Western ties on Moldova's path towards the EU. When polls closed locally at 9 p.m., turnout stood at more than 1.68 million people, about 54% of eligible voters, according to the CEC. Moldova's large diaspora, which cast ballots in record numbers of more than 325,000, voted heavily in favor of Sandu in the runoff. In the first round, held October 20th, Sandu obtained 54% of the bailout of the ballot, but failed to win an outright majority over the second place, Tonyanglo. The presidential role carries significant powers in areas such as foreign policy and national security, and has a 4-year term. And that's all we have on the foreign news.
Coming your way next, entertainment news.
Welcome to Entertainment News. My name is Rose Blossom Moye. Here are the stories for today.
Nollywood actress Iyabo Ojo has said a word of prayer for her son-in-law, Juma Jux, as he bags an award in Cote d'Ivoire. It was reported that the Tanzanian singer has appreciated Priscilla Ojo after winning the Best Artist Group Eastern Africa 2024 at the Jalia Awards in Cote d'Ivoire. While receiving his award, Juma appreciated his Priscilla, who he called his beautiful wife-to-be. He pointed to her from the stage as the crowd cheered on them. Reacting to his wins, Priscilla via her Instagram story congratulated him. Also reacting to his win, his mother-in-law Iyabo Ojo congratulated him. Also reacting to his win, his mother-in-law Iyabo Ojo congratulated him as she said a word of prayer for him. The movie star prayed for him to win more. Ehinome Winifred, the wife of Nollywood actor Blossom Chukwujeku, has sweetly celebrated him as he marks his birthday today, November 4th, 2024. In a joint post, the pastor shared a carousel of photos of him as she stated that there is a story within him and it transcends human understanding. She added that the story is unhindered, unrestricted and unshaken. Many took to his comment section to wish him a happy birthday. Nollywood has once again been thrown into mourning over the untimely passing of movie director Dimeji Ajibola. According to reports, the deceased passed away in the early hours of today after battling an undisclosed illness. Before his death, Ajibola was celebrated as a creative force and a visionary in the entertainment industry, blending traditional and digital art forms in groundbreaking ways. His work spanned film, animation, VFX, virtual worlds, and interactive media. He held a diverse educational background, having studied filmmaking and cinematography at the New York Film Academy in Universal Studios, advanced character animation at Animation Mentor in San Francisco, and visual effects at VFX Learning. He was the brain behind the 2012 urban musical film Hot Rush, which won multiple awards, including Best Movie at the 2012 Green Mill Film Festival in Germany, Best Actor and Soundtrack at the Nollywood Movies Awards, and Best Supporting Actor at the AMAA Awards. May his soul rest in peace. Amen. Nigerian music icon Davido sets a new Spotify record with the latest release, Awoke, featuring YG Mali, achieving the impressive 1.217 million streams within 24 hours. This milestone marks the highest single-day streaming count for any African artist on the platform. Awoke has quickly gained traction globally, highlighting Davido's ever-expanding influence and the growing reach of Afrobeats. Fans and industry insiders alike have celebrated the song's success, noting its infectious rhythm and Davido's seamless collaboration with YG Mali. Notably, a viral video captured Davido's joyous reaction to the song's performance on streaming platforms after it displaced Wizkid's Piece of My Heart on Apple Music Nigeria.
And that'll be all on entertainment news. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Rose Blossom Mwoye. Bye for now.
And that is all we have for you. We thank you so much for watching. My name